IBW is the big brand.
IBW is a regional brand. It's a regional operator. I mean, with independent operators in Costa Rica, El Salvador, and Guatemala. Actually, and Nicaragua. Well, I think the one with the largest potential is definitely Guatemala. However, I mean, if you had to take a gander as to which one is going to have the most attractive response to a WiMAX implementation, that's going to be hard to measure until the deployments are in place. We currently have one deployment already completed in Costa Rica. We're working on the expansion, and basically that was, to us, somewhat of a test bed that allowed us to gauge what was the reach of the technology and what we could expect in terms of user flows and what type of services we could provide to the regional market. Was by March of 2009 we had the infrastructure in place. By April, by end of April, we already had a range of customers already implemented, and we did start primarily trying to service the niche market, the banking industry, which proved to be the right move, and WiMAX proved to be the right technology. Today we are experiencing upwards of 99% and 99.9 worth of uptime generally across the network. We are using the WiMAX platform, an 802.16e platform, to provide fixed point services right now. However, the expansion that we are going into, we're starting right now, is basically going to provide us with a network that's going to be more of a nomadic / mobile network. The individual companies have, especially in the case of Guatemala, El Salvador, and Nicaragua, they've been around for quite some time. Costa Rica was more of a new entry. We basically created the company out of the need to provide services to a market that was opening up. The Costa Rican market has been closed until recently. In fact, they're still going through the birthing pains of a new industry that's been controlled.
So government-owned?
Yes, it's been controlled by the government. Actually, Costa Rica is a very interesting market. It's a little more developed than you would expect in Central America. And in fact, what you find, the type of user that you find in Central America, is quite a bit more of a savvy user than you would expect in other nascent markets. But in the case of Costa Rica and in the case of the banking industry, what we're doing is we're providing a connectivity service to the banking industry with a level of service and a level of security that they couldn't get otherwise. They have local requirements that in many cases are forcing them to have 2 and 3 links, 2 and 3 independent links per bank, per point of presence, if you would, and we're one of them. We have become a leader in the wireless niche market.
So is that a government requirement again, that they have to have service in so many places?
Yes, apparently it's a regulator requirement. Apparently it's a regulator requirement that at least they have 2 independent links to provide constant connectivity back to the central bank. Well, you're talking about Central America. Central America is very earthquake prone.
Okay.
So wireless does make a lot of sense.
Okay, I was thinking of M-banking app, the customers accessing their,
No,
yeah.
no, that,
You're talking, that's really interesting.
yeah. Yeah, we just found a very
Yeah.
specialized market where we could play because of the benefits, because of the functionality that's inherent in WiMAX 802.16e. Seeing the success story that we've had with the banking industry, there are several other industries that are actually requesting our services. So we're involved in Costa Rica. The sales group and the organization is involved in several RFPs at this point.
Can you just broadly give me an idea of what segments you'd be going after?
Primarily expanding into more of the banking industry at this point, but quite a bit of the retail, some of the large retail chains that operate there as well. However, we do have, we've gone after whatever spectrum was available. So we have 2.3 in Costa Rica, we have 2.5 in El Salvador, 3.5 in Guatemala, and 700 megahertz in Nicaragua. We did acquire quite a bit of spectrum, so we're actually planning on this as a strategy that's somewhat future-proofed. We're not relying entirely on an 802.16e future. We're ready for 802.16m or TDD-LTE when it should come to happen. Costa Rica,
Okay.
And in fact, we're expanding Costa Rica. We're expanding fourfold into more of the nomadic / mobile end user, but we're not there yet. However, the implementations that we're going to go after in El Salvador and Guatemala, which are actually underway at this point, those are definitely concentrating on the end user, on the residential / mobile end user, more of a college student / residential type of play.
In the case of El Salvador, this is a market that was opened up to foreign competitors back in 1997. So you find very robust wireline networks in place, both on the coax to the home, as well as in the backhaul of the portions of different networks. We ourselves, IBW, own a very robust fiber ring in San Salvador, which is the main city of El Salvador. We also run coax to different sectors of the city, and we also own the spectrum that we're trying to use, or we're going to use for WiMAX. So no, actually the wire networks are very well in place, very robust.
Good.
We have very strong competitors, and we also ourselves have a very strong wireline network. As Paul was saying, our play right now in El Salvador is somewhat similar to what's happening in Costa Rica, where we serve corporate customers, different sizes of corporate customers with different amount of bandwidths. But WiMAX is for us a tool that's going to help us expand our current corporate business, but we expect a lot from the consumer or individual customer from this technology. So in both these cases, we are serving corporate customers, but we expect a lot from WiMAX to serve the individual user. No, we don't have voice over IP. We do some sort of voice over IP solutions, but we're not like a VoIP solution provider. So
however, to expand on what Oliver was saying, The idea is to launch already with a double play type of solution.
Sure.
So sometime by the end of this year, you will be reading about IBW having deployed a double play network over a WiMAX infrastructure, and certainly in Guatemala, El Salvador, and Costa Rica.
It's low. I think right now, because of economics of our markets, broadband penetration is rather low. In terms of percentages, I can't tell you right now the percentage we have in El Salvador, but it's homes with broadband are, I don't know, maybe, I don't want to say any percentage, it might be wrong, but it's very low.
Yeah.
What we're seeing is that as time passes, broadband demand is growing. New generations are needing broadband more than the current generation, and it starts with needs like school and naturally all the things that they do for the social interconnectivity, such as Facebook and all of that. So I think there's a big gap in terms of where the demand is and what we can do with our networks.
We feel, I think we as a group feel that it's a right move, and we're doing it at the right time. Our chairman is a very avant-garde sort of person. He's been a visionary in many areas. Prior enterprises of his have been very successful in the cable industry and also wireless, cellular phones. So no, I think we're tapping into a market that has a lot of pent-up demand, as you stated. We sort of in Central America, the assignment of frequencies has not been that specific. There hasn't necessarily been any law or has it been written in any of the gazettes, the official publication of the government, that 2.5, 3.5, or 2.3 are WiMAX frequencies necessarily. The only country where you're seeing something akin to that movement is in Costa Rica. The new regulator, and this is very, very recent, has started assigning services to frequencies, which we feel may be trying to mimic what's happening in the rest of the developed world, but the timing may be a little bit off, because there are many things yet to be defined. Nothing states that in another year and a half, the frequencies that we have are not being used for LTE, TDD, which is actually probably where we are going to end up.